Okay, so number 4. This is where most of our presentation is going to be tonight, is number 4. This is the heart-based maps, deep inner contentment, sense of fulfillment. You will feel this if you do the exercise at the end of the presentation. I really want you to know, like right now I'm giving you some information, but if you do the work, you'll feel it on the inside, and that's what counts. Heart-based maps, meaning, authenticity, purpose, and strengths from our heart. Each person has a different set of maps. This is, think about your pursuit of happiness so far. If you are American, raise your hand. So if you feel like you're American, if you're influenced by American culture, okay, that means that you've been in this pursuit of happiness. And so instead of the pursuit of happiness that has the strategy of achieving the right person, place, thing, and circumstance, I'm asking you to follow your maps instead. So if you follow your maps from your heart, which you will know how to do by the end of this talk, you will feel that deep inner contentment that you really want to feel when you're chasing hedonic happiness in a different person, place, thing, and circumstance. This is a huge paradigm shift, folks. This is a real big shift in how you view your happiness. No one else is responsible for your happiness. Nothing else is responsible for your happiness. So when you take charge of your own happiness and really cultivate these maps from the inside out, it's worth it. And again, right now it's all words, but you actually will feel it inside if you do the work. Number 5, faith. F-A-I-T-H, meaning trust. Trust that if you put out positive, you get back positive. So this is very important because when faced with the unknown, a lot of unhappy people choose fear over faith. And so this is simply replacing fear with faith. I know it sounds very simple. Oh, sure, I'll just forget the fear. But actually, you can. And you can consciously choose faith instead of fear. Okay, so authenticity, bare bones, is owning and acting like your true self. Any questions? And in psychology, they're like, oh, self-awareness, self-awareness, self-awareness. But nobody really says what that means. And so here, I'm just going to let you know there are 11 categories of self-awareness. And so I'm very pragmatic, I'm very practical when it comes to these floofy topics like happiness and authenticity. So here are the 11 categories that make up authenticity, or your self-awareness. I'll read them to you. Values, beliefs, you might want to write these down. Values, beliefs, emotions, thoughts about yourself, capabilities, strengths, unique talents, desires, motives, goals, and purpose, of course. So remember the definition of authenticity: owning and acting in accordance with your true self. So here is data representing owning, and here is data representing acting. And so if I was truly authentic, it would be identical. By the way, this actually moves in like a kaleidoscope way. So you're constantly shifting around in your self-awareness. So even though this is a concentric circle that just looks 2D, it really is shifting and moving at all times. So this is what happened. I found out that there were these 48 barriers. And I was like, okay, there's a reason that the data was off. And so this is really important because you know what? We throw this word authenticity out into the world like it's really no big deal. We just expect everybody to be authentic. When in fact, it's really challenging to be authentic. Really challenging. Yes?
What's the advantage of being authentic?
Well, what's the advantage of being authentic goes back to the benefits of being a happy person. So remember that when you compromise your authenticity, you're also compromising your happiness. Here's a barrier right here of prevalence of unconscious thought. Shoot! How many of us have a subconscious? Uh-oh, there's a barrier. Uh-oh, when people need to win the acceptance of others. Uh-oh, do I really want you to like me and accept me? Because those are two barriers right there. So I broke these down into different categories. Let's take a look at this. So if you actually, I know a lot of people in this audience probably accept their spirituality, but anyone who has a hard time accepting their spirituality, they will be inauthentic. When children become aware that other people judge them, then they're more likely to be inauthentic. So any of these are constructs of any moment where someone veers towards inauthenticity. Lack of awareness of multiple selves. Multiple selves are created to adapt in multiple social roles and contexts. So Tony Blair, within a 2-week time period, went from a U2 rock concert and gave a talk to these rockers. Then he went to Australia and gave a talk to these football athletic audience. And then he had to go and deal with a bomb threat. And so he used different parts of his personality in all the different arenas. So you have to accept that there is a different part of yourself that may be more authentic in a moment than someone else. Also, if you tell a child to be quiet and not tell anyone what just happened, then you're also hurting their authenticity. If you say, don't tell anyone that thing just happened, then that child is going to have an authenticity crisis. Under any consequence of action, honesty is still the best policy in my book. So people are responsible for their own happiness and the way that they respond to things, and you have a duty to tell the truth. Honesty is the best policy.